Yeah, I mean, just looking at the paths that got them here, I mean, I think Hunu is the most notable player, having upset Lazy Bear pretty resoundingly in the first round of the playoffs here, which is, already an impressive run for him coming into
Yeah.
YerAnd, who obviously, again, is going to be the favorite in this matchup.
Yeah, YerAnd's going to be the favorite, but Hunu's already faced Opie Rights in groups. He faced Tunnel, who he beat. He's already beat Lazy Bear. He kept Opie really close. Hunu's had perhaps the strongest showing, or at least more above expectations of anybody. YerAnd, I think, has been a bit underrated, which is a bit weird to say, coming from someone who just came out of SCL Diamond as the winner. In a previous season of SCL, he would have just won SCL, but we had the playoffs and ended up Lazy Bear wins with the playoffs with that format in SCL 6. Don't sleep on YerAnd. He should be the favorite in this match, despite the fact that Hunu is absolutely going on an upset killing streak. And that'll be our first match. As I said, our second match will be Opie Wrights Tabsies, and we'll get there. When we get there, do we have picks and bans?
Yes, we do. You have YerAnd choosing House Party, Hunu choosing Oh the Places You'll Go, Hunu banning out Redwoods, and YerAnd banning out Taeyan. So neither player really into the whole occlusion. We're doing starting with House Party, and Hunu is spying first. So it looks like we're going to be starting on Modern.
Yeah, just looking at the occlusion, it looks like the most occlusion we have is Library? Maybe Veranda. Veranda's not really considered an occlusion map, but there's so many people on it that there's a lot of stuff that you end up not seeing. I'm getting my cast up here now myself. I did it last night, so I could wake up this morning. Go me. YerAnd Hunu. And we're starting on Modern. Perfect. Looking at Kane as the spy, and it's Wheels
Yep.
as the suspected double agent trying to juke me out.
You got it.
There we go. Let's do this in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So what can we expect to see out of Hunu today on the spy side?
Generally, I think Huna's just played a very solid game, and that's been enough to beat people like Lazy Bear. Also got him through the last round. Do you remember who it was against?
Kamiganai.
Oh yeah, Kamiganai.
And actually, it went into overtime.
Kamiganai, as if anybody was looking for their dark horse or their player going into like the next XCL season, or Kamiganai came out of nowhere and did really well this tournament. So good for them. Hunu did finish them off and now has to deal with YerAnd. I'm wondering if he's going to do anything special against YerAnd, because YerAnd has a very specialized sniper. In the rock paper scissors, I would say that YerAnd is definitely a scissors player. He's very sharp, and there's a lot of technical aspects to his sniper play that you wouldn't see from most players.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, in the last SCL season, I was in the same division as Hunu, and I had to prep him a bunch. I mean, the impression for all of SCL, basically, he had a very, very slow spy, but never timed out. So really, it was a lot of sort of what we're seeing right here, a lot of sort of slow mission progress, and then a big rush at the end, including time ads just to get stuff done.
Yeah, and generally the advice that's been given regarding YerAnd is if you're playing against scissors, you want to be doing rock stuff. And you ask, what is rock stuff? Rock stuff would be rushes and things that are kind of brutal, just throwing the sniper off their game, so you're the one playing your game. And that can still be stuff. You can still play like a clever game and still be a rock, but you need to be doing something, because if you play a slow game against YerAnd, he's going to get a lot of lowlights. He hasn't really taken too many in this match. I'm just seeing like 1 or 2. But he will get his pathing lights if you give him a full amount of like 4 minutes on these 5/8s or Modern. Here, this is a very passive move here. Just going to another empty conversation. It looks like Hunu might just be committing to the frame game, and he is keeping the party in vision to allow himself to do so. What are you feeling here?
I mean, again, this feels to me like a pretty standard Hunu spy game. We just delegate off to Wheels, the SDA, and go in to finally pick up a second flirt here. And again, this feels like a pretty standard Hunu game. If this we get bailed on, unfortunately, by
We are
Alex.
trying to finish. Good to know.
Yeah. No, Hunu will pretty much always finish. I don't remember having seeing him timing out at all ever. Usually he'll go for last second time ads rather than timing out. So
Yeah, if we've chosen Wheels for any particular reason, it's not going to matter. He is the SDA, and the timer expires anyway. Hunu's now really behind on pace with only 34% flirt and one fingerprint. Him finishing here is actually going to be a real feat. Darren's not too hard to finish with 4 of 8, but it is hard to rush missions down sometimes because the map is just so big.
yeah, we have the double agent here, so that will help. And here comes the banana bread. We do a little split here, and we're gonna go into statues. It looks like we might be trying to swap here for Disney.
It will work out as giving the swap to Disney and giving him the banana bread. We do the white swap, and here comes the highlight. Is there going to be a shot?
Yeah. Well, YerAnd is clearly aware of this, with all the lowlights coming off. We are the only highlight along with Disney, but it doesn't look like a shot. I mean, we probably have. Oh, there comes the bug coming out, and YerAnd is probably. Yep, here comes the shot. The bug was seen.
When you say the bug was seen, it's really potentially just the path. It's a really nice bug. He gets, I believe, the wrong arm here, and it's just a little hitch and making sure that you actually do hit the bug that is going to put you in trouble. I think this bug might have been the sort of bug that you get away with if you hadn't just swapped the statue, and that's a problem because of the pacing that we had in the game. We're kind of forced to take this bug. If we don't take this bug, we're not finishing missions. And even if it's executed perfectly, it's only 2 people left in the party who YerAnd is watching. He can still get hint of this bug.
Yeah, the lack of arm swing was very visible, and being one of 2 suspects though at the end there, I think pretty much made sure that we were being watched very very carefully as the only suspect actually in motion.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he wasn't zoomed in a bit closer, given those are the only few people he had to watch. But we got YerAnd as twin, plain twin to be specific, and he'll be up 1-0 here. Let's do it in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right, so the same question then: what can we expect to see from YerAnd Spy?
YerAnd Spy is generally slow, but he will try and mix it up, and he does try and do some stuff against opponents. Like we've seen him get very silly against people like myself or Yeesh. Ignore my grammar. But against someone who's generally a very benchmark sniper, I think we should see just a general urine play, which will be him trying to find clever ways to get 1 or 2 missions passed.
Like this right
And
here,
then,
cheesing out a book right away. Just going green bookshelf to blue bookshelf. I assume we're just gonna put this back low key and get the one mission done. And no sign from Hunu so far that this has been seen.
I remember the day when nobody else did this and it was just me. And I got told off by people. It was like, you can't get away with this every game, and I continued doing it every game and getting away with it. I think it is actually a lot more powerful than people realize, just because even if you have the whole screen on, it's always going to be visible. It's not going to necessarily be seen. There's just a lot of places for your eyes to look on Modern.
Yeah, especially here with the ambassador sort of exposed and in a conversation with somebody else who's potentially in standing bug range. There's a lot of attention being drawn elsewhere for sure right now.
Okay, microfilm done. We have the drink in hand. We can do a delegate. This early into the party, there's not going to be like a real frame attempt. Like the most you can expect out of someone is they have a fingerprint and a statue at best. But you can definitely send it off. There hasn't been too many people at the bar as far as I'm aware.
No, it looks like we're just waiting for a good banana bread. But the double agent bails on us, so scratch that. We have to go to plan B. And as the double agent leaves, we leave as well to find that plan B, hopefully. Double
Yeah,
agent out to the delay.
we're chasing the double agent, but as the casters, we know that they could not go to either of those conversations. It was always going to be fruitless. And YerAnd finds a good half convincing bounce here to continue following towards a double agent who then went to statues. The last 30 seconds have been a bit of a wash, and we need to find something else to do.
And that'll be flirt. It's a white test, 34%, but that's some mission progress that we kind of sorely need at this point. Even with the one mission done, the time can be really unforgiving here on Modern.
Yeah, meanwhile, Hunu hasn't really taken too many highlights or lowlights. We got 1 lowlight on Irish, and then I believe just statue lights on 3 characters. Uh, YerAnd's avoided some of the pitfalls of playing twin. He hasn't just taken a highlight for being twin, mainly because the other twin is the SDA.
Yeah, that helps a lot. Not having to differentiate them. We do a little delegate cheese here. And just standing here real quick.
Yeah, we saw this in the Hunu set. Oh, we went for the animation perfect too, like really trying to sell it with the leaf
Yep.
there. Another white test on the flirt. If you're YerAnd, I think you should be finding this game, but you'll want to start hitting green some point during this match. There goes the purloin. There goes a highlight. It's been immediately acknowledged. No shot again. These boys have been patient.
Yep, a few little lights coming off as Hunu tries to suss out who it could have been, but without the bar highlights, it can be tough sometimes to figure that out. Meanwhile, YerAnd just needs one more flirt and then a banana bread to finish here, and with 40 seconds left, there's plenty of time to get that done, especially with the SDA, or excuse me, the seduction target basically coming to us.
Flirt's the easy part here. The contact's going to be a bit harder if the double agent does not leave these statues to go somewhere into a conversation. We might end up having to do a late bug if Cowboy does not oblige. Where are they going? Where are we going? We are on the move, and it looks like they have obliged. This will now be on Hunu. Banana Bread's going to come off immediately. Is Hunu going to find a shot? Is it going to be a shot on the correct person?
There's going to
He's
be no
looking around
overtime,
7 seconds.
and we
He's
bail
looking for a shot.
immediately.
Oh, and clever play there from YerAnd. If you're super suspicious of YerAnd here at the end, and you don't know if he's done or not, and he goes to Windows, it's a timing for the late time ad, but there's not going to be a time ad. The game's just going to end with 1 second on the clock. I don't think that's necessarily what happened in this game. I think Hunu just did not have enough heat on YerAnd for the bar visit and the resulting delegated purloin, and the microfilm obviously looks pretty free. But clever little hey, I can't be the spy because I'm the spy. Play there from YerAnd at the end.
Or more, you shouldn't take the shot yet because I'm not done.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was modern. YerAnd picks up the early sweep, going up 2-0 here at the start of this match. It looks like we have Pub next, another bar map.
4-7 pub. It's interesting. We'll talk about why in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
So why is 407 Pub interesting, Pwned?
Whoa. It's because we haven't seen it much, honestly. I think 4-7 pub's actually a very straightforward, like typical SpyParty map. It's the first bar map, just pub in general.
We
But
missed the pad here. We're fine. This is fine.
yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine. But we haven't seen too much 4-7 because of an SCL change that we did back in a few years ago, where we said, okay, maybe we should only have one version of each map. We don't need to have a 4-7 pub and a 3-5 pub. 4-7 was the loser in that battle, and so we just haven't seen that much 4-7 pub. But it is a fun map. You do have to be pretty creative to find, say, your fourth mission. You can usually get a good contact and a good flirt, and specs are free. They only need one of them. It's just what's your fourth mission going to be? And
Sounds an
pub,
awful lot like you're describing Courtyard there, Pwned.
yeah, and I like Courtyard. The bugs are not free. There's no like really good. Okay, I'm gonna have a lot of cover. Uh, they're usually being watched. So you have to do something particularly clever. Purloin obviously a good option, but if it all adds up, if you have a contact and inspects and you're at the bar in the last minute, snipers can often find that shot.
The thing I found on playing the 4 of X variant on Pub and High Rise especially is that since the time doesn't really change, a lot of spies kind of get lulled into complacency by being used to the sort of the 3 of X timing, and having that extra mission to do in the same amount of time really can screw up a lot of spies, I found at least. Or maybe it's just me playing spy,
Yeah,
but
I think one thing that's not intuitive with pub, crowded versus just our regular 3 or 5 pub with minimal people, is time ads are actually back on the menu. When you only have like 11 people, 12 people in the party, doing time ads here where it's all like facing the sniper can be pretty gross. But there's a lot to watch on pub when you have all the missions on. When they're trying to memorize the bar.
look
Did
at
that
look at
Furloin?
these fake lights coming out from YerAnd.
Yeah,
So gross.
YerAnd's gross. I think that's one of the biggest defining words for YerAnd's play is he can be really nasty. He can be really gross. Where um, really his sniping and his like particularly his lowlights aren't really that behavioral. Like it's going to be these sort of things where he's doing things because they're guaranteed in his mind, with like pathing lowlights. But the little things that he does with little fake lowlights and the things that he does on Spy, which are just little things trying to bait lowlights, you look at them and you go, "Yeah, you're nasty. Like, be nice." Here comes the time ad. It's pretty late. We're going from, or it's already happened, but we went from yellow to green on the clock, and that's really not what you want to do with a time ad. Um, it doesn't look like Uran's really caught onto it. There's no true reaction. But if you're gonna do time ads, definitely do them before the beeping starts because that's miserable. But you do want to also consider doing them before the clock really turns green, because the jump from like red to yellow or yellow to green can be a bit more notable. Here comes a highlight for Hunu. He did have a bit of a wonky path into the statue,
Yep.
but the highlight's presumably just for the inspect. Here comes a swap, and you want to talk about fades and how they work? Because we got about 10 seconds before it actually goes off.
Yeah, unfortunately, this front statue, the fade is very, very visible, and I think most people not watching know, but a green fade is different from a white fade. Green fades on both Purloin and Swap are going to be a lot faster than the white fades for a white test. Um, but this is a cast member picking it up. This is
Oh,
the
that's
seduction
brilliant.
target. So there's going to be no fade here visible because the target wasn't swapped. And now Twin is going to pick it up, and Twin is going to swap for us. But unless YerAnd is very, very aware of what's going on, the Twin is going to swap, and there's not going to be any real indication that it was us and not Boots.
Oh no, but we delegated.
Wow.
We delegated to Queen, who was a low light. We only had 2 highlights in that party. Hunu just worried about his seduction target going somewhere where they weren't going to be flirtable,
Which, a
and
fair concern.
just pushing in for the delegate. He did the delegate at 25 seconds, and it took her only 15 seconds to do the delegate. If it had gone a bit longer, if there'd been a bit of a line, we could have shortcutted it and just said, okay, nope, or short circuited, I guess, and just gotten the flirt in before the delegate went off. I think with what happened there, I don't think the swap was ever seen.
No, it
Just
wasn't. The bar was being watched and not the swap at all. I think the swap is completely off screen the entire time. So with hindsight, we know that perhaps we could have gotten the flirt there in at the end. But I understand the choice.
yeah, it's just a little bit of a throw. I mean, the problem is if our seduction target decides to go to the far conversation or do briefcase, God forbid, Hunu would have been in a real spot. But just launching this delegate, I think it was maybe just a bit too soon. We got the delegate at 41 seconds. At worst, we could have at least sent it off to like trigger overtime while we're still trying to get our last flirt. Um, and it, I can't really blame Hunu. Like these super end game situations, you don't see very often. Like we don't cast them very often, and as a spy, you play them even less. Just because most games don't get to this point. Most games, somebody's found a way to get themselves shot, or the sniper's already blasted someone before the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough spot for Hunu, but also a tough spot for YerAnd too, especially if that delegate doesn't go off and it's just the swap with the ST having been there before the swap goes off. The Lola ST, I should add. Like that's such a tough spot as well for the sniper.
Yeah, what I was hoping for as a spectator was for the selection target to go really far away for us to try and get a flirt and then trigger overtime because I really wanted to see what YerAnd's overtime shot would have been if he never saw the swap.
Yeah.
YerAnd up 3-0. Probably happy with this one. A bit of a relief, honestly, because I think Hunu almost got away with it. And he's playing red dress in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And just to one last thought on that last game. I mean, that's just a perfect illustration of how the party can win or lose a game for you.
Oh yeah. So to circle back, so when a seduction target or any other cast member picks up the statue, this is bug setup by the way. Um, they don't swap it. They never get summoned to the statue like AI would for swap, but AI like to do random things, and sometimes random things is pick up the statue right after you put it down. Uh, And the seduction target's a particularly powerful one because it's the one arrow that the sniper can't see. They'll know if a double agent picked it up and then someone else picked it up and swapped. If a seduction target, it really just makes this three-person chain a chain of people who could be the spy.
Speaking of selection target, what goofy conversation circle positioning from the AI over there. Look at that.
Oh yeah, you're going for the prom date photo.
Yep, pretty much. But we're not really doing anything. YerAnd's just playing this really cool so far. Here comes the banana bread, letting off a couple low lights available, but it's a pretty good one.
Yeah, one of the biggest problems with banana breads on pub, and this is true for a lot of maps, is all of the interesting people are inside the pub. So people doing inspects, you no longer can purloin reasonably for a while because anybody who was in the chain is now no longer a highlight, and the lowlights are really easy to take because you just go, okay, if you're hiding behind a pillar, I still get you as you leave the bar.
Here comes a flirt, 94%, so one more flirt from anywhere will finish that one off. So pretty good mission progress here with 2 minutes left to go, but we have all the hard missions left to do, whatever we choose to take. Obviously, Inspect is still available to us, but we're gonna fire.
Have you ever taken this bug, by the way?
I don't think I've successfully taken it. I think I've tried.
uh, Here comes banana bread again. I'm not sure who it's
Pretty good fake
gonna
though,
add.
giving a lot of people reels.
Yeah, so the problem here is if we're really going to lean into a sort of framey game, and doing two banana breads definitely helps that. Nobody's been to bar. If you have someone who's done inspects and has banana bread, and you assume they would also be credited for
What?
flirt.
Wait. Yeah. Okay, so YerAnd just fired off a bug. I'm pretty sure that was a misclick because obviously there's no bug available from across the conversation circle. But I don't think it was seen. It's fine. Because who would do that, right?
I call them penguin arms. When you just bug far away, you just you can do them as much as you want to. Nobody ever expects it. Here comes YerAnd doing the bug I asked for, and it's still not a good bug.
Just saying, Penguin Pool is actually later. That's going to be at 3 o'clock Eastern. So.
So the problem with this bug is everything. So the first problem is you have to path to be able to land the bug at all. You have to path through the conversation. If we'd done it like a minute earlier when there was nobody in the conversation, it looks nicer. But we had Cowboy who we walked in front of. To hide the arm, YerAnd actually does a pretty good job. But you just have to dip into the ambassador even further, which is kind of brutal. And then, yeah, if you're not able to see the bug, which is fine, you still get to shoot for the path or just the intent. It did look like the bug was visible as it started up, though.
Yeah, the arm sticking out straight through Taft. Not a great look.
So Hunu does get one on the board. Now down 1-3, trading pub, which is pretty typical. We see a lot of sniper wins on pub 4-7 with its current setup. And we move on to Veranda, which I would say YerAnd is notably good at.
Yeah, my recollection is that Hunu is not a huge Veranda fan, but prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Hunu. Let's make this close.
Let's do it in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Hunu going with Alice, the fast speed, a boon here on Veranda. Let's see some early book cheese. No, we're not going to rip this out. We're not going to rip this out. Okay, we're just hanging out here at the bookshelf.
Yeah, Hunu had the opportunity. There was a bit of disrespect for the microfilm cheese there from YerAnd. He's been hanging in a bit further right. But we did get the book out. We could put this back in green. We could put this back in red or blue if we want to, and that will be a mission. Knowing Hunu, he's probably going to cook it a bit. We're not looking at a raw book. Obviously, this is going to be potentially well done.
Yeah, well, I mean, rare is an acquired taste, and cooked is safer, so makes sense.
And so one of the scary things with microfilm, and the reason why it's not safer, is even if you decide to go put it back, banana bread coming off, in the green bookcase, you're still relying on your sniper knowing that it is actually a correct book. If it's been out for 2 minutes, obviously that's very AI-like, but you're relying on the quality of your sniper. And even someone like YerAnd who knows most things, the reason they know most things is because they're ignoring some things. We all have.
Missed a low light on Disney from that banana bread, by the way, and Disney is now
Yeah,
going from book to statue.
it'll be fine until Disney gets shot later. Nope, he's highlight now.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
No, this is fine. It's fine.
Okay, where are we putting that book back, Hunu? What's the plan? Looks like
We're
he's going
just
back to
putting it back
green.
correctly. Who knew
He's
really going for some low light fishing here?
Yeah, the thing is, you're never gonna get one of these like soft lowlights from YerAnd. I went through all of YerAnd's lowlights, and interestingly, I think like he only had like 4. Like he doesn't lowlight incorrectly very often. Half of them were me getting into mind games, which I don't think YerAnd does against almost anybody else. It's never for pathing lowlights, and it's never for something soft like this. Um, you're not gonna get rewarded. You might get less suspicion, but you're not going to get the direct reward of a low light, the laser over you, and the green light to go run around.
There are a few highlights at this party, though. Like, it seems like there's a few people with some suspicion, including Smallman, who already was a highlight going to statues here. I don't know if that was a highlight for being at statues before, or if that's just a highlight for being Smallman. But we finish fingerprints now. So, or no, just one fingerprint, excuse me. And meanwhile, the green purloin went off as well. So, Hunu doing pretty well here with the mission progress.
Yuri has spent the last 10 seconds just trying to see this list. Poor guy. Now a highlight comes off and a few lowlights. But YerAnd has not been necessarily watching our briefcase return, the sort of thing that he'd probably enjoy watching, because he's just been trying to deal.
Oh, hey, no, this is fine. We're fine.
Return the list. Mess with him. Let's do it.
You know, I think Disney may have been the taker there as well. And Disney, of course, we saw with the highlight earlier. Here's the standing bug.
You take those. It's veranda. There's just so much to watch. And yay, good stuff from Hunu. The flirt's gonna be straightforward enough as long as her seduction target calms down. With the ambassador over here, they shouldn't be able to like pick up the briefcase and completely mess this up. It's gonna be the 5th mission, which is gonna hopefully be fingerprint. Where does Hunu know where a fingerprint is? Ambassador does have a book that is definitely something that we expect to be a fingerprint, but it's on the other side of the map. Hunu's gonna have to look at the purple arrow and chase it down. If
Looks like
he's
that's
gonna
what we're doing.
does the ambassador have the book in hand? Looks like they
No, it's
don't,
been put
which means
back.
we know it was red because it wasn't so deep into the party. Hey, we found it. Now is the shot coming off? I think the answer is no, but 3
No
seconds.
indication. No, I think we've
Yeah,
gotten away with
Hunu's
this.
good to go.
Hunu gets a mission win by YerAnd on veranda.
Yeah, so we're looking at 2 hardtails, right? We did not do inspects, which I think is the big reason why we didn't eat a highlight, why we didn't get watched more for things like the bug. The purloin chain was really long and nasty, and the veranda angle really haunted YerAnd there. And yeah, otherwise everything was just really quiet. The fingerprints were really quiet. Really late prints can be really brutal to catch. Just a really solid game from Hunu, and the sort of game that you really want when you get into veranda.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, we've seen just a lot of more really solid, sort of straightforward spy play from Hunu so far, which, it works.
Now you gotta do the job of shooting on veranda. Veranda is a nasty map, but you do have 5-8, so you can be patient and you can wait for them to do some sort of hardtail. So I like Hunu's chances here, but you're in playing mom in 3, 2, 1, playing it. We haven't seen any chaos action. Not that these maps have been particularly friendly for it. Uh, we did see the microfilm on Modern, I guess, but it wasn't particularly quick from your end.
YerAnd's action tests have not been on point today. I mean, YerAnd's not like a green test monster in general by the stats, but like I think we've seen only like 1 or 2 green tests so far from YerAnd today.
Can we get away with no highlight? Please and thank you. Hunu, I think has gotten a bit more interesting as time's gone on. He's not doing things like highlighting for statues on veranda, which is cool. He is highlighting for second inspect. Hopefully this is actually highlighting for second inspect and not first inspect.
Well, Taft didn't get an inspect either, our selection target for being at statues there with us, so it looks like, yeah, this is for completion. We're going to go right back, and this could be really dangerous. I mean, this is like a pretty obvious flirt pair right here.
Yeah, but we're starting the ability to rush. I don't like the microfilm here. Does no cover and the bookcase already has two people. But we are pulling out fairly quickly and giving ourselves the opportunity to play this quickly or slowly. It looks like we're really just staring down where Taft is going. He's not too far away. We definitely could go get him.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Again, though, I'd be really worried about being paired here. We still need that one more close flirt, so we're going to have to stand right next to Taft there to finish that up, especially if we can't rely on our green tests. So I don't think Hunu is a huge flirt pair sniper, but that
On
could be real
on 5 of
dangerous.
8 veranda.
Yeah,
I think you're fine. You're fine.
really good,
This is the sort of greedy play that I actually get punished for. Here comes a banana bread. It
really
looks
good
like
banana bread,
both the
actually.
it's a really good banana bread in that everybody's in conversation. It's a
Safety off.
bad banana bread because we're the only person in a conversation with a double agent talking. Duke would be the other one. But yeah, when you've done two inspects early, the flash off is warranted here. Urine looks really high suspicious, and a second banana bread would give us a lot of help because we're not finishing missions if we just slam that into the red bookcase.
I want to point out that Taft picked up a highlight as he came to our conversation circle. I think that flirt pair is pretty firmly fixed in Hunu's mind.
That's kind of brutal. Taft did come to us this time, which is helpful. Bug. Oh, no, we're notably not bugging, which is intimidating.
But we have the book in hand still.
Yeah, I think we were trying to get like a wrong arm in combo entry bug madness. Um, Here comes a slam. Absolute slam. It's on Hunu. Yeah, he found it. He needs to just line up the shot, and
Yep.
there we go.
Hunu all over that situation from beginning to end.
Yeah, I mean, if it's the flirt, it's the flirt, right? But I think the contact was pretty brutal. Just because there's no like strong lowlights. Hunu then had to find some value elsewhere, and it's like, okay, who's real then? And when you're looking at who's real, and you have someone who did two inspects in your face earlier, it's like, okay, if it quacks like a duck, right?
Absolutely. So we're going from one 5 of 8 to the other 5 of 8 in library here.
it's I mean, it's always gonna be rough for somebody, right? Like somebody's it's either gonna be tied or somebody's winning, but you don't want to be doing double 5 of 8s if you're behind in the set. In this case, it's 3-3. They'll be fine. Um, but that they put the 5 8s next to each other is kind of mean. Just disrespecting future selves. We got Hunu playing Seek here, and let's do it in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
Well, we have a little bit of time, and given Hunu's typical spy play, we have a bit more time. So tell me, Professor Pond, how do 5 of 8 library and 5 of 8 veranda play differently?
Hunu just, I think one of the biggest things that like differs from some players play versus other players play is like their setups, mainly for bug. Um, like YerAnd will put himself in spots where he can get reverse drive-bys and like similar strong bugs, and I don't feel it's necessarily the same for Hunu. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You can obviously get more suspicion if you're just always behind pillars and other silly places. Um, but it does result in Hunu just getting a lot of slow games because he's never getting those early bugs that green light the ability to do a rush.
Yeah, and honestly, it takes a lot of load off of a sniper's mind if you know that you don't have to watch and guard that rush against certain opponents.
31% the Tobo number, because the most you can get from a white flirt is 34%.
Look at this
If you
bug
get,
well positioned for the ambassador.
I think you take this honestly. You need to have something else going on, and Toby moving towards the ambassador is not going to help us. Yeah, now it's a lot worse, right? So when the ambassador and Toby are near each other, those are thing you like to watch number one and thing you like to watch number two. It's a good opportunity to go somewhere else and do something, but bugging in that situation is a bit harder. And on library, you really do need to get that bug. If you're not getting the bug on library, you're looking at doing multiple other hard tells. Like you don't want to be swapping and purloining unless it's a hard rush.
Yeah, and microfilm can be kind of a crapshoot here as well, unfortunately.
Mm.
We found a banana bread though, so that's nice. So we have a fingerprint, 2 flirts, and a banana bread. So again, shaping up as like a pretty typical Hunu spy game here.
Yeah, one of the big concerns with I mean, it's not a terribly early banana bread, but just in general against YerAnd, is if you give him a lot of lowlights early with an early banana bread, in addition to him just taking random pathing lights, which will happen a lot on library, you end up with a party which is pretty narrowed down already, and then you go to mid statues, right? And then you go do your hardtail. Like you're doomed. Uh, this is
Yeah, I mean, looking at
not
the party now,
good.
we already have 7 lowlights here, um, which is a pretty fair amount out of the 21 guest party here. So it could shape up to be brutal, especially because Yaren will find more as we go on. We're going to side statues here, and we'll pick up the highlight as well. So this is not a great place to be in, especially with no hardtail progress done.
Yeah, and when you say 21 people, I mean 4 of them are cast, right? Like we have
Sure, of course, of
three double
course.
agents and the ambassador, so it's 7 out of 17, and it's only going up. I think I just saw another one. Meanwhile, we're highlight, and we're one of two, and the other one maybe a twin highlight. Like, uh-oh.
Yeah, this is really a bad position. And again, not to keep belaboring the point, but we have partial mission progress on all the soft tails, but we still need to find that elusive hardtail. And as a highlight, one of now 3 highlights, it's going to be so hard to find that without Yerand seeing it.
Yeah, and we can't really expect the same fortune that we saw on Pub, where like seduction target picking it up would be great. It looks like Uran's just taking the same low lights. Just anytime someone goes around this pillar, they are a prime position to get a low light. Here comes our second mission with just less than a minute on the clock, and we can do inspect swap. Like we can definitely finish this. It's just if we can finish this without dying is a different question and a much bigger question. And I think we both know the answer. I think Hunu might know the answer. I don't. I think Yeren does not know the answer.
We've requested Toby's going to walk all the way across the library to come to us with the drink now.
This is one way to do it. Actually, if you do a purloin to help cover the swap. Nope, we're just making noise. Where are we going, buddy? What's the plan? It's
Simply,
beeping. The chances for time ads, which would have been 1 out, are gone. Is this fingerprintable?
I don't think so. We're going to red swap.
Uh-oh.
I think that was that
Sure.
may have been intentional, hoping that the sort of fade might be seen out of the corner of the eye. But we're just gonna
Okay.
shot for it. Fuck it.
Who is there? Queen? Who's a low light?
I'm not sure.
Yep, I think it looks like Queen.
That's a tough
Uh,
call too. Being called from all the way across the venue. That's not how
yeah,
swap
it's not how
works.
swap works. But, so this is one of the biggest problems with trying to frame against someone like Yerand or against a behavioral player is half the time they're going to be low lit, and you'll have no reason uh, why they're low lit. I think they might have been out during the banana bread, honestly, but uh, generally this sort of desperation swap, good idea, but you're going to get punished a lot of the time. Obviously, if you do a green test also, and then the next person who comes up is low lit, maybe it's harder to catch, but you're also just pinned, right? Like, there's a lot of ways this goes wrong.
Yep. I mean, I think that's a good illustration, right? The way to beat Yaren, especially in library, is just to rush something and don't let him collect all those lowlights.
Okay, you're in on boots, and now has the lead. Now needs to try and capitalize on spy on library, and we'll do so in 3, 2, 1. Playing it. Swap, swap, swap. Let's do it.
Oh
You're in
yeah.
finding the statue here. Really hoping. Oh no, it's a green test.
And also, we were
Uh,
seeing that statue. The statue is very visible.
yeah, but
So yeah.
still, because you green tested, the actual idea of going to a statue very early is you're trying to be the person who blocks the statue. This sidestep will make it so potentially this doesn't get swapped immediately, just because we're so close that the game thinks, well, you're still at the statue pad. It looks like, yep, Salmon's gonna go pick up the statue.
All
There's
right,
a
we're
bug.
rushing. We are
This is
rushing.
Banana Bread too. This will
Yep.
be fourth mission.
Yep. Now we just need to find like a quick purloin or something and just be done.
Okay, Salmon's gonna be the one who picks up. He's big, which is gonna help block the statue for a
And
second.
he was low lit. The statue was not seen. The swap has not been seen yet because Salmon a low light. I don't think it's being watched.
Yeah, and if there's any question about it, Hunu's probably gonna hold his shot, and Urine could potentially just stand here and finish flirt. It won't be like the hardest rush ever, because we just won't get our 5th mission quickly. But it's a really hard shot to take. It looks like the swap's potentially been seen. There has been a few lowlights and whatnot, but I think YerAnd is really just committing to these distant flirts with wheels. If he hits any sort of green test, he can definitely get them in 3, and he's taking his time, which is smart, right? Like, you don't need to walk in his conversation and flirt immediately. You have 3 minutes.
Yeah, with 3 minutes, and as long as we're not being paired with wheels, obviously, or somebody else, of course, then this is fine. With another flirt across the conversation circle, we're at 67%, so one more close flirt will finish us, and we still have 3 minutes to find that last flirt, or last 2 flirts even, if that's what we choose to go with. Ooh,
Oh,
safety off,
flash
though.
off. Yeah, this laser's been lingering over here for the last 5-10 seconds, and there goes the safety off. I mean, this
But I
doesn't
don't
change.
think
This doesn't
there's a
change
good
Yaren's plan.
there's not a good mission count, though. I don't think the bug was seen. I don't think that Hunu is aware that we have 4 missions and we're just flirting for the finish.
Yeah, because otherwise we'd be dead, right? Like, we could have potentially have had flirt already. The real crux here is if you're a Hunu fan, we need wheels to roll away now, because if we just get to timer flirt here, this game's over. But if we can get caught having to try and chase this character across the map, maybe Hunu can find the
We
shot.
need the green test. Yeah, we get the green flirt, the clutch green flirt from across the conversation circle. We have mission win countdown. There's no way we're going to get shot for this.
Absolutely not. And the reason I'm so confident is if you already were onto this idea that they're just trying to finish flirt as their 5th, which is already a pretty rare idea, would be pretty aggressive for you to assume so, you'd already taken the shot. So you can timer flirt all you want. There's no chase here. We also were very respectful. We did the 3 flirts all from distance, just relying on our ability to hit at least one of the greens.
Yep. So really nice game from YerAnd there. We were saying that we wanted to see some rushing. Well, YerAnd is the one who ends up rushing in the end here and picks up 2 wins on Library to recover from the sweep on Veranda to go up by to pick up a 2-game lead again.
And here comes High Rise, which is a fine place if you're a spy looking to try and bring back down 3-5, because both sides are very, very winnable.
Speaking of 3-5, this is a 3 of 5 variant of High Rise, not the 4 of 8.
Yeah. And we are turning fingerprint off this time. So we usually see microfilm and swap off, and then whatever the 3rd mission that's going to be turned off mixes around for people. In this case, it's going to be fingerprint off, which means we can do Purloin. We have Hunu here as queen in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Bit of an awkward little hitch there on taking control as we're trying to enter the conversation. Apparently, we really wanted to go look like we're flirting with 2 different people.
Yeah, which is fine. The queen general pairing. It's a dead meme, but it checks out sometimes.
Those are the 3 gray-haired people in the party. All decided to go to Windows at once. That's nice.
Yeah. So double agent comes to us. We'll pick up the search flirt. Not bad. A lot of people out though. No banana bread really available to us right now. So we'll just chill here. The ambassador is coming over to be in the buggable position too, but we can't take that because there's no cover, and we're basically would be dying just by doing that. So we'll hang out and timer flirt.
The little devil on my shoulder is like banana bread bug. And it's like there's like 3 people in conversation. Like, what are you doing? I really do enjoy really, really bad banana breads on high rise. I've actually had an incredibly high win rate doing stupid banana breads because everybody really wants to take the low lights, not realizing it's literally just you and the double agent, and all they have to do is just realize that and they can shoot you.
Well, unfortunately, Hunu is not quite the character that you are. Just gonna chill here and timer flirt.
No, he's playing good SpyParty. Yeah, no, this is me bullying people in casual because I'm trying to get my win rate back down to 50% against them so they can feel good. 85%.
You're full of charity.
85%. What's the 3rd mission going to be? I assume we're going to get the contact at some point, as long as the double agent behaves.
The problem is if we finish our flirt here, we find a banana bread and go to center statues with like 50 seconds left. We're dying for that, right?
Especially if we 2-cycle, for sure. Like, YerAnd will usually just hold their shots very aggressively. They're very good at not shooting civilians. Better than probably anybody in the game, actually. And as a result, like, you don't really want to just be lazily completing missions against them. Because you're gonna have trouble framing. It does put you in a bit of a spot. I think we might have a bit of a blessing here. There's no actual opportunity to do some stupid play like banana bread into middle statues. Hey, 50 seconds. Let's do it. I like banana bread split here actually. Like I think banana bread split into mid statues is actually a play here.
Well, we gotta fire off this banana bread soon. We've seen the double agent kind of out of conversation for a while. I think we kind of just have to take advantage of him while he's here. Yep, it's gonna be a white test though, so the split is off the table.
Twin looks very suspicious. Coming in and they started their banana bread talk exactly as we did, and they actually ended up
Checker
stuff
purloin?
talking.
Nope. No checker purloin. We're just gonna go sit here. Okay, so 30 seconds left. If we go to center statues, we're just gonna die, I have to assume.
We're looking at the ambassador like it's an opportunity, and it's not truly an opportunity. That's not a really good spot for
We're
a bug.
requesting. We're just
Here we
purloining
go.
here. I don't think there's a chain here. So this is a white test. I think we're just gonna
And
die.
it's being stared down.
Yeah,
Here
we're
comes the
dead.
dance. We're gonna try and use pearls as like some back cover, but no, we're dead. 9 lowlights, by the way. A couple of those are casts, but
Yeah, the party was split in half.
yeah, YerAnd just saying, okay, half of you, I don't really care if you even go to middle statues. You're just not the spy. And that's such a powerful thing on high rise 3 or 5 when 9 people is actually just leaves you with 4 people left. And
Yeah,
then
that's
one of
pretty
them
gross.
does a white purloin.
It's always nice.
YerAnd has turned off purloin, has taken away the opportunity to die like his opponent did, and will have fingerprint on as the difference. Playing here Taft, he's gone through like all the slightly rarer characters today. I do believe YerAnd actually does random, and we got this in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right. So, General's going to put himself into a flirtable position. We'll green test it, 51%. YerAnd off to a good start. With the 51%, we're going center statues. YerAnd just playing to rush this down and dare the shot to come off for going center statues early.
Yeah, so I mean, there's two theories, right? You just came out of a rush. Who would do the same thing twice? But also, it just worked. So why not?
Also,
not that Veranda and Horizon are particularly comparable.
yeah, but still, even so, like if you can hit another green flirt right here and then find the banana bread, it's so hard to find that shot.
Yeah, I mean, so the classic here is you do something really stupid
Here it goes.
to
Take this
prevent
book
the
out.
shot happening.
Take this book out. Just go banana bread right now. Terrible banana bread. Like,
Yeah, but you do sip banana bread here.
You
You
see,
do
that's bold.
something. You do something that prevents you from dying. And this is where I pull out the sip banana bread a lot, and like say, the high rise tournament, because it's just
Unfortunately,
like
we have book banana bread, so that's not gonna
book
work.
banana bread does not work the same, and double agent leaving doesn't do us any good. We could honestly bug on the way into the bookcase, but it's like why? Silent game obviously powerful, but you need to find a really good bug to convince yourself not to just wait for the banana bread to come around. You're just making sure not to stop talk, find a way to lose this game.
Yeah, and probably just avoid being seen talking to General again. Obviously we did the 2 close green flirts, so and Hunu has shown some propensity to flirt pair in the past here. But we have this book in hand as well, keeping our hands full. It's not fingerprintable, so that should reduce some suspicion, especially if we go back and return it while the double agent is unavailable.
Yeah, I think if we're gonna return this at all, we'd want to do it about now, just as a way to get out of this conversation with rationale. But I feel like YerAnd is just really committing to the book in hand, and it does help a little bit with like, hey, I'm definitely not fingerprinting, I'm definitely not bugging. Not to mention, oh, here we go. We're trying to do the banana bread before the double agent even came in. Here comes the shot or not.
Hunu
He
thinking
doesn't.
about it? No, just taking low lights. I think we're getting away with this.
He considered on rocker, but we are not rocker. Pulling it off. If you want to pull this game off as sniper, I think the big thing you have to realize is why is the banana bread not already happened? And the answer is Kane's been an absolute jerk for the last 2 minutes. And if you realize that Kane is probably the double agent by virtue of that's the reason the banana bread hasn't happened, then you can find this shot. Otherwise, it's a really hard shot to take because you haven't been seeing any flirts. We did do the 2 green flirts here and hitting these green tests. We did get out of the statue. There's no like 3 inspect. There's not much to go on here. And Rocker being the suspect here, he's gonna get you the win. It's YerAnd here who gets the W, and that's actually the set, by the way. That's 7-3.
Yeah, YerAnd takes the set, and we'll move on to the semifinals.